Hi Imrahil Create. This is a video response to the video you sent me responding to my video Blank Canvas 3 Art Genius. Although this is a video response to you, it's probably worthwhile other people watching it too, as it gives a few of my thoughts with regards to some of the parodies I've done about blank canvases and minimalist art and those sorts of things. I'm going to apologise in advance because this video is very much a random collection of thoughts, because I was kind of struggling really hard to string together a considered response off the top of my head, and being an arty type, it's really hard to bring ideas together and just stream them out as words, apparently, which is why I paint pictures and why I write a lot, because I have a lot of trouble talking. So there you go, this is a collection of random thoughts. Hopefully some of your questions are answered, and hopefully you get something out of it. The media analyst Marshall McLuhan once said that art is anything that you can get away with, which makes me wonder if he was perhaps thinking about conceptual art at the time. Would you like to see my latest artwork? I'm very excited about this. Just finished it, in fact. Here it is, right here. It's a canvas, still in its shrink wrap, and I'm calling it Unopened. Before I go any further, it's important to note that I come from the school of thinking that anything can be art. And that's very different from saying that art is everything. What I mean by anything can be art is that any object, thing, or lack of an object even can be presented as art. Now, whether that art is good or bad is up to the viewer's interpretation, but that doesn't deny the fact that anything can be considered or presented as art. Can the absence of an artwork be considered art? Take this sculpture for... Wait a minute. Looks like somebody already has. Has anyone seen this artwork? It wasn't here a minute ago. Imrahil Create wanted me to comment on one of his artworks. I'll refer to my notes to describe it to you. The artwork in question that he created was just a plaque, and on the plaque was the inscription "Untitled, by Anonymous, dimensions unknown, date unknown," and in brackets down the bottom the word "destroyed." Now, my immediate thoughts about that artwork is, why? What's the point? But when I think about it further, it leads me to question, is the artwork the plaque, or is the artwork the allegedly destroyed artwork mentioned by the plaque? Conceptually, it pretty much raises more questions than it answers. Which leads me back to my initial thought: why? Why tell anyone about an artwork that has no information and has allegedly been destroyed? Why draw people's attention to an artwork that doesn't exist? And if the plaque itself is the artwork, what is the point of it? Of the absence of an object being thought of as art then to me that kind of thinking really puts the con in concept. Because if something is not present, then the viewer shouldn't give that object any consideration at all. And how can an object that is not present be art if there is nothing to draw your attention to it? You would need something like a plaque to draw the viewer's attention to the fact that the artwork is not present. And the mere fact that there is a plaque gives that artwork a presence, so that it is no longer not present. So conceptually, the whole idea of an artwork that is not present can be art is a paradox that really is impossible. Because if it is not present, you wouldn't know. And if there is a plaque there to draw your attention to the fact that it is not present, then that artwork has a presence by having a plaque. It also would have a presence by having a space reserved for it. I guess perhaps to conclude this video, it would be worth referring you to read a couple of articles on my blog. Now, the actual web addresses for those are too long to put on the screen, but you can find them easily by going to my blog on my extraordinarytourist.com website, and you look in the right hand sidebar, the white sidebar, look for the heading Blog Highlights, and you'll see a whole list of articles under that. The articles that I'm referring to are the second and third article. The title of the second article is Nothing on a Grand Scale. That particular article discusses the idea of absent art, and in fact goes even further than that, in that it talks about the idea of art that was never created in the first place. And then the second article is a follow-up article to that, and it's called More Than Nothing, and it tries to give you some understanding as to where I'm coming from in terms of art that is conceptual and is art that is perhaps the equivalent of found objects, where you simply present an object as art without having actually done anything to it other than giving it a description or a concept to explain what that object is about. And personally, I feel artists that do that simply find an object and then write a description explaining their concept should have been writers and not artists, because pretty much all they're doing is authoring an idea.